Nations is using satellite imagery to help coordinate the emergency response. Hundreds of communities in this red zone in the Philippines had damaging winds in excess of 120 kilometers per hour. It was double that near the eye of the storm. States of calamity have been declared on islands across the archipelago.
A storm qualifies as a hurricane if it has sustained winds of 119 kilometers an hour.
Just minutes after we'd finished our live shots telling headquarters that we were moving to safer ground, cameraman Brad Olson shot this on the place we'd just left.
Okay guys, I think we should wrap it up.
So I went behind a villa over there by the pool. The wind dramatically shifted direction, and it was a lot more intense. It was a good shot of the wind blowing across the pool and the water going up in the air. The wind picked up a lot more. I jumped in the water because I felt like I was safer there.
On November 8th, 2013, the ocean didn't just rise, it attacked. A wave as tall as a two-story house swallowed entire cities. Over 6,000 people never came back. This is not just a storm story. This is the deadliest typhoon in Philippine history. And what happened after the storm was even darker. Welcome to Tacloban City, a coastal paradise with 220,000 residents, families, schools, businesses. No one knew that in a few days, it would become ground zero of one of the strongest storms ever recorded in human history.
Coconuts were dropping from the tree.
Typhoon Haiyan, locally known as Yolanda, was forming silently in the Pacific, and it was hungry.
This is probably one of the top 12, so the top dozen of all storms ever seen on this planet with the satellite or in person. That's how big this is. It is not as deep as Gilbert and Wilma in the Atlantic, but the wind speeds are higher than those storms because the eye is so small.
As Yolanda approached the Philippines, its winds reached 315 kilometers per hour. That's stronger than Hurricane Katrina, Sandy, and most Category 5 storms. Meteorologists were stunned. This might be the strongest landfalling tropical cyclone in recorded history, they said. But warnings were vague. Evacuation plans? Weak. Many thought they'd just ride it out like every other storm. At 4:40 a.m., the winds began. Roofs flew like paper, trees snapped in half. But it wasn't the wind that killed most people. It was the storm surge, a giant wall of water up to 7 meters high, crashing into Tacloban like a tsunami. Entire neighborhoods vanished in minutes. Bodies floated in the streets. Hospitals flooded. Communication lines gone. Help was days away. In the aftermath, survivors were starving, searching for their loved ones, many trapped under rubble. Some looted stores, not out of greed, but hunger. There was no food, no water, no help. And here's the darkest part. Relief was slow. Politics, bureaucracy, miscommunication. For days, it was every man for himself. The world reacted. Over 800 million in international aid poured in. The US, Japan, even celebrities helped.
Typhoon Haiyan has washed away entire towns in the Philippines. Thousands of people are now feared dead. Oxfam is on the ground and hopes to reach 500,000 survivors.
Such an important cause to support our brothers and sisters in the Philippines. The money that we're raising tonight is going to critical help.
But years later, only a fraction of the promised housing was ever built. Where did the money go? Many suspect corruption. Thousands still live in temporary shelters today, over 10 years later.
State auditors reveal hundreds of millions of pesos in funds for the relief and rehabilitation after Super Typhoon Haiyan, known in the Philippines as Yolanda, did not reach the victims. The report says government offices used them for operations or kept them in bank.
It wasn't just a disaster, it was a betrayal. But amidst the chaos, there were heroes. A teenage girl walked for 10 kilometers just to find medicine for her grandmother. A fisherman tied 6 people to a palm tree with rope. and saved every single one. Ordinary people became legends. Yolanda was not just a storm, it was a warning, and many didn't learn. Today, climate change is making storms stronger, deadlier, and more frequent. Will we be ready for the next Yolanda? Because history has a brutal pattern. Those who forget it get hit the hardest.